Hi guys, Gary here. Just coming at you with a new feature I'm thinking about doing on a regular basis called Netflix or Not-flix. It was inspired by the fact that every week I get an email from Netflix, and it's normally recommending like a TV show or a film that they think I might like to watch. And naively, I kind of think that they must have some sort of really like sophisticated computer algorithm working in the background, compiling all the data from the stuff that I've watched in the past, and that's why they're recommending these films to me and these TV shows to me. So I normally take them on board in good faith, thinking that Netflix aren't going to steer me wrong, and turns out that's not the case. So I'm going to basically once a week I'm going to watch a film that Netflix has recommended to me, and then I'm going to give my honest opinion to what I think of that film, just so you can either give it a watch or give it a steer. So it would either be Netflix, as in give it a watch on Netflix, or Not-flix, as in don't even go near this thing with a barge pole. I'm going to start the feature with the film that we watched last night called Awaken The Shadowman. It's been recommended to me a couple of times now. It keeps popping up on my feed on Netflix, and I just thought to myself, I like horror. I'm a big horror fan. It's probably my favourite genre. It sounds okay as a story. I normally judge films as well by what they get on IMDb as a general score, just as give me a general idea of whether the quality is going to be good enough to watch or not. Typically, I don't like to watch a film that's under 5 out of 10 on IMDb, but occasionally a few slip through, and I think, I'll give it a go. This one had like something like 4.3, so it was borderline. But I thought to myself, again, Netflix, they're really pushing this film on me. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try it out, see if it's any good. So I did. I watched it last night. You'll be glad to know that you don't have to watch this film, because it was one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've watched a lot of films. I've spent 30-something years watching films, most of that horror. I'm not going to lie, I love horror. So I'm always willing to give horror the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes these films, they can be so bad that they're good, that kind of territory. This isn't even that. This is like, it's so bad, it's bad. It's just terrible, it's the worst. It's like the Room version of a horror movie. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with The Room, but it's a film by Tommy Wiseau, who's like this really crazy guy in America who funded this film called The Room, which is rumored, like everyone thinks it's like the worst film that's ever been made. And I have to say that Awaken the Shadowman could give it a good run for its money, if I'm being honest. It's really bad. I mean, there's nothing good about this film. The production, the sound effects, the special effects, the Shadow Man in the title, he pops up a few times and it just looks like a bloke in one of those morph suits that you can buy, like a black morph suit. That's the height of the special effects as far as it goes. The soundtrack as well, I really had issues with the soundtrack. I mean, most horror soundtracks, they like to telegraph that jump scares are coming with the score, so the musical score will get more dramatic as a jump scare or something disturbing is going to happen, so you kind of know it's coming, but at the same time it's still subtle enough that you're still going to jump when the jump scare happens. In this film, the musical score is just awful. It's like high drama all the way through. Even the most boring, mundane scenes where it's just two people drinking a glass of wine, it's like dun 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 dun, and you think something really crazy is going to happen any minute now. It doesn't. They just drink some wine, next scene. And the musical score is like that all the way through, so it's kind of overly dramatic even in the most mundane scenes. So you're there sitting there thinking something scary is going to happen, a jump scene is going to happen, the guy in the morph suit is going to jump out of a cupboard. That at least would have been entertaining. Nothing happens in this film. Nothing. I mean, if you want to get into the story, it's about a woman who goes missing and her two sons. Like, one of them's estranged from the family for some reason that they never really explain in the film. He doesn't get on with his brother. Again, it's kind of implied that his brother stole his girlfriend years ago or something. Who cares? The acting is just terrible, and there's some, they come together because they're trying to find their mother, basically, is the plot. The brother who's estranged has a wife and baby. They come along with him. And apart from that, there's not really a lot. Like, there's some scenes where they go looking for their mother, and it's just really, they don't go anywhere. There's no progression of this story. It's just a lot of random scenes put together really badly. The acting's terrible. Like, the lead guy, the strange brother, he's okay. I think he could be good in a better movie. There's also like this culty vibe going on. There's like this group that their mother was part of that's full of all these weirdos who can't act, by the way. Nobody in this film can act apart from the lead actor, and he's kind of, 50-50 on that. So there's like a strange cult vibe going on, and they've got like this 12-year-old kid to be the main antagonist, this leader of this weird cult. And he's creepy, but he's a 12-year-old kid. It's just, I'm not scared of him. Why would I be scared of a 12-year-old kid who just looks creepy? I just don't get it. And then, oh god, they introduced like a random kind of junkie girl character who's only there to provide exposition for exactly what's going on in the, so they're explaining the plot to you basically, because by that stage you're scratching your head going, I don't really know what this movie's about. Can somebody tell me what this movie's about? Oh look, this random junkie girl's just shown up to tell me what this movie's about. That's fantastic. Oh really? Is that what this film's about? Oh, that's shit. It really is that bad. And then at the end, I don't know, they tack on, it feels like I missed part of the movie. At the end, there's like some sacrificial ceremony, and the mother shows up, and it turns out she knew all along, and she's been part of this secret cult that takes babies and gives people nice cars, apparently. And then at the very end, it cuts to a scene of some guy in a hoodie who I think is the lead actor, but I'm not sure because it doesn't really explain it very well. But he's got a room in some drug den that's full of newspaper clippings and, connected with bits of string, which in the movie world means that there's some kind of conspiracy going on. If there's a newspaper clipping here and there, and there's a piece of string between the two, there's something crazy going on there between those two things. But yeah, it was really bad, is my basic message here. 30 plus years of horror film watching, and this has to be the single worst film I've ever seen. So for me, this is a big Not-flix. I wouldn't watch it. If Netflix recommends it to you, please ignore it. Wipe it out of existence. I don't want to ever hear anything more about this film ever again. It was that bad. Netflix, you steered me wrong. Netflix. Where's the trust? The trust is gone. I don't know. I'll give it another one a go, see if it's any better, and I'll report back. So this could be maybe a weekly thing that I do, where I come on and I talk about a movie I've been recommended to by Netflix, and I'll let you know if it's worth watching or not. I'll leave it there for now, but yeah, Awaken the Shadowman. Don't waken the Shadowman. Just leave him in his black morph suit, sleeping in the corner, and just burn the house down and just destroy everything about this film. Just forget about it. Done. I also apologise, I've got the mic today. Sound quality's been really bad in the last few videos, so the only way I can get decent sound quality is if I'm holding the mic right next to my mouth, so apologies if it's been distracting. I hope you find this useful. I hope I've saved you and that you haven't already watched this film. If you have, you have my sympathies. We should form a kind of group support network to discuss the trauma that we experienced by watching such a bad film. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Don't watch and Awaken the Shadowman. This is most definitely a Not-flix.